So whatever happened to Jalen Green? We haven't really heard a ton about him up until recently when he blew up for like a ton of points. It was like a big 40-point game. So what happened and what's he doing today? Is he still an elite player? Let's get down and let's check out Jalen Green. Okay, so one of the easiest ways to score in the game is to be able to make body contact, and that is exactly what he does right here. If you can create body contact first with your defender, you can clear out just enough space so that you can go up for your layup. Now, there's a reason why that layup worked extremely well for him. The reason why it worked is because at this point, he used his body as a shield for the ball. These guys right here were not going to go and block his shot, so he used his body as a shield to get between his defender and the ball. This allowed him to be able to essentially have that open layup. Now, while he got kind of shifty right here, there's actually a reason why he was able to score the layup in this circumstance. So while he was trying to get shifty, the one thing that happened was as soon as that defender's heels touched the ground instead of being on his toes, Jalen Green attacked the basket. When he attacked the basket, he got his shoulders lower than his defenders, and I say this in a ton of videos. This is literally the one and basically only way that if you wanted to get leverage on your defender, you got to get your shoulders lower than theirs. And when you attack, in this case, he's turning the corner. He's trying to get in front of his defender, and he is able to do that because his shoulders were lower, so he has leverage to be able to get in front and remove that defender from his situation so that he has that open lane to the basket. And then he was able to use his body as a shield yet again to be able to cover that ball so that he was unable to have it blocked. If it wasn't for his shoulders being lower, getting the angle and cutting in on the defender, and then finishing in the front of the rim, he would have probably got blocked or been locked up. The other thing that's very impressive about Jalen Green is his ability to attack off of the screen. Obviously, when your man goes over top of the screen, you need to attack the basket hard because the reason is now this defender is behind you. You now have potential mismatches that cannot guard you. However, the special thing with Jalen Green is his ability to not just say, I need to score every single time. He has teammates. You have teammates. Everyone has teammates. We need to learn how to drive, get a paint touch, collapse multiple defenders, and then kick that ball out to teammates on the perimeter for open three-point shots as we have right here. What that does for you by kicking those passes out to the perimeter, that helps with drives as we are going to see right here. So when Jalen Green attacks here, yet again his defender goes over top of the screen, which means that he is forcing the defense into switching. What I would call a 2-5 switch. This is a massive mismatch. Jalen Green's going to be able to get to that rim at will. While yes, he had a nice crossover here, he is able to get to that rim because he had a mismatch. He drew a mismatch off that switch, but because in previous possessions, he kicked the ball out to perimeter players or cutters, these defenders are not playing help on him now. They don't want to have themselves burned by their players or by Jalen Green. So they are allowing Jalen Green to get to that rim one-on-one against the switch, and he is able to finish with really no defense at all. So if you just look to pass out after a drive every once in a while, by the time you actually feel like you could score in a one-on-one situation on a switch, those defenders are not coming down to help, and you're going to have an open lane to the basket. And then it just so magically happened that at this point, Jalen Green's man is still going over top of the screen. They were trying to go over top of the screen the whole first half, which was absolutely mind-blowing. And then Jalen Green attacked the rim. Now the roll man is sprinting. This is something, if you are the screen and roll man, you need to sprint to the basket after you screen. And this, because Jalen Green is putting pressure on that hedge, that leaves this roll man wide open. Why this man is not trying to jam that from happening, I'm not too sure, but it's because Jalen also is a very good passer, and if this guy tried to jam the drive or the cut, Jalen Green would have just kicked it out to that wing for that open three. which allowed the roll man to be wide open. This is why you always look to pass out to the perimeter early on if you are a one-on-one player, because now you're going to be opening up that whole middle so that you can have yourself or your roll man wide open for some easy baskets. Now, I guess you could say that they maybe tried to blitz him by going over the screen and because they were along the sideline, but because there was a gap between the screen man and the hedge, or blitz, whatever they were trying to run, Jalen Green was able to split it, and then he was able to attack back down middle. You always want to attack middle. This allowed him to go down the middle of the paint. Yes, he could have sent up the lob to his teammate. That's an option. However, Jalen Green is a very good scorer 1-on-2, 1-on-3. He was able to get up nice and high because he's got the vertical. He goes up with two hands because he wants to have the protection on the ball. And then he was able to finish right at the rim. This is exactly how you attack a help defender. Jalen Green is absolutely amazing still. So if you've been wondering where Jalen Green is, he's obviously with the Houston Rockets. However, I know he hasn't been making massive headlines recently until he had that 40-point game. But anyways, Jalen Green is a fantastic player by doing these things. If you can do these things when you play the game yourself, you are going to also be a fantastic player. I hope that this video helps you become a better basketball player. Make sure to go check out the custom basketball training programs that are down in the description below, and I will see you guys again in my next video.